But I'm really good about saying, all right, I'm going to put in my 8 hours and I'm going to compartmentalize it. And I'm only going to do X thing at X time. And what that allows me to do as a writer is I don't putz around. Like when I'm going to write, I'm going to write. That doesn't mean I don't have the anxiety. I totally still have the anxiety, but it means that when I sit down to do it, I actually fill up the page. Whether or not it's any good, who knows? But I have a pretty sure method now, which is that I write and rewrite every single day. So I start the day by rewriting what I wrote the previous day, going over those 5 or 10 pages or 2 pages, whatever it might be, and then going forward. And I always stop when I'm hot so that I don't stop when I'm petering out and I can't figure out what to do. Like I'll stop in the middle of a sentence even so that when I pick up the next day, I'm in the middle of a sentence.
That gives me anxiety.
I know. It's probably not the perfect way to do things.
No, I love it. I think that's an amazing tip, actually. Like stopping in the middle of the sentence, because then you're like...
Yeah, because I'm eager to get back. And so it really becomes sort of a form of muscle memory for me now. When I sit down, it's like, all right, I'm going to rewrite. That's going to take me probably 2 hours to go through these pages. And telling myself, you're only going to look at what you wrote yesterday. Not because the curse of the beginning writer is you rewrite page 1 every day of your life. And so when I finally do a sort of larger editorial rewrite of myself before it gets to my agent or my editor or whatever, it's not triage, it's just sort of taking out stitches. But that, that sort of compartmentalization has allowed me to be prolific, but also when I have to work outside of the guidelines I give myself, I can also really turn it on. So last year, my wife, Wendy, had cancer and I had a book under contract, and it's impossible to write funny, dark, weird stuff when you're sitting at the infusion center all day. And when, you're trying to be the person who's not losing their shit every single day. And so Wendy finally got her clean bill of health, was out of chemo and radiation in October of last year. And my book was due in December. Mm-hmm. And I had I'd written 100 pages or something. 100 good pages. And Wendy was clean on October 30th. And I said, all right, well, I got to finish this book. And so I said, 2 months, let's go. And I wrote that book in 2 months. I wrote another 100,000 words in 2 months. But I have so much pent up, from the fear and the anxiety and the worry and all that stuff. When I was released of that and could just write, it was just and so by the time December had come along, I had written, 450 pages of a book, 350 of which did not exist when on October 30th. And then I was able to go back and cut and rewrite and do all of that stuff. And that's the book that you read the other day. It's coming out.
I devoured it. I didn't read it. I sucked it up. I have written all my favorite lines down because some of them are just, and my name is in it. So I felt so
that's true. Your name is in it.
That's I'm somewhere in his subconscious. That or another tart named Holly, but fine. It's fine.
So, the reality is as a professional, sometimes you just got to say, all right, well, I know how to do this. I'm just going to fucking do it. I'm just going to go. Outside of the sort of the system of writing that you've created for yourself in the past.
So thank you for talking about Wendy. I didn't know if we were going to go there or not, because that was a lot. And that was one of those things. I'm like, does he know me well enough? Do I say something? Do I not say something? While it was all happening, I was very, with my own dramas. I was like, maybe I'll just be quiet. I'll just be quiet and I'll watch from here. And then I'll just be happy that she rang the bell 3 times.
No one's ever upset to find out someone's thinking about him.
Okay. That is true.
Unless you're thinking of killing them.
Right. That is very true.
It's a funny thing, having run an MFA program for almost 20 years now. I founded the one at UCR in 2008, but I'd been directing the other program there for a previous year. So it'd been a while. What I found is I don't read a ton of romance, for instance, for pleasure, or I don't read a ton of hard fantasy for pleasure, but I know what's good. And I know, I can see talent outside of my entertainment preferences. And I think that's the thing that really separates really good teachers from not so good teachers is I've never looked at something and been like, well, I don't read that, so there's no way I can help you. I can help you because writing is writing. Like, it can take place on the moon. It can take place in a diner. It can be aliens. It can be humans. It doesn't matter. It can be talking dogs. It shouldn't be, but it can be talking dogs. And the rules are the same. Like, you have to have the innate ability to convey empathy. You have to be able to replicate human life in an entertaining fashion. You have to create suspense or romance or whatever it might be. And that, I think that's like one of those things that if you don't know it, you're never going to know it as a teacher, but also as a writer. Like, you can't teach someone empathy.
Yeah, I love that you're using that word, because out of all the 25,000 like Post-its I have in front of me of everything I want to tie together with you, is like your empathy and loyalty as a human, right? You are both things. You are really, I mean, you're super snarky at the same time. And in your characters, you have that as well, right? Like, while reading your newest work, which I devoured, like, I think my family was a little worried. They're like, what are you doing? I'm like, leave me alone. I have to finish this.
I have to read about Todd's troubled people.
Well, I like it because in your essays, like, I really want to tie together. Wait, I really want to do this purposefully. I really want to tie together Only Way Out, which is your book that's coming out in December, and your essay, Let Them Bleed, because, like, whatever my issues in life might be, mine are daddy, right? Your paragraph on your mother in that essay about her cruelty and waiting for her to die for 39 years. I don't understand how someone so mean to his own children can still be living. Like, that's literally a thought I have. So to share that, and yet you are so kind and loyal to the people around you. And I find that ability to be both things fascinating.
Well, I think, growing up with bad parents makes you intimate with your own vulnerability. And if I didn't have good siblings who I love and who really took care of me, I was a baby. I'm still the baby of the family. It doesn't matter how old I am. I'm still the baby. And I'm treated as such. Having those siblings in my life that cared for me deeply and really imbued in me the sense that, hey, this is going to end. You're going to leave. And you're not going to have to stay in this place forever with mom or in these emotions. That was really important. My brother Lee is 9 years older than me. My sister Karen is 7 years older than me. And my sister Linda's only 2 years. So my brother Lee and my sister Karen graduated high school, went to college, left town when I was still just a kid, just a 9-year-old. And so to have them as sort of my de facto parents, essentially, I think gave me the ability later in life to look at the situation with my mom and also with my dad to a somewhat lesser extent because he wasn't in our lives. And at this point, I'm 54 years old, to be able to look at them and realize, like, hey, they should not have been married to each other. They should not have had children. They should not have been parents. But my mom was, undiagnosed bipolar for most of her life. My dad was a sociopath. And here I am. I made it. And I have a lot more understanding of who my mom was now. Single mom raising 4 bad kids. Bad being that they were all super expressive, published writers. Like, I would have been a little angry too all the time.